So, hey everyone, welcome in. It's the Flying Pig. I'm Flying Pig United with another little Manchester United rundown for you of the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, and all the goings on at the club. Thank you ever so much for joining us today, guys. We've got a bunch to get into. We're going to cover it all in this video, so do get involved in the chat, as we always do, with your opinions and comments. What's up there, Berber, Kieran, the Vootinator, Declan Leonard, and everybody else as well who's joining us. Thank you so much for getting in at the start of the stream. Do us a massive favour at the start of the show, actually. Smash that like button on it, give it a thumbs up, share it around on social media if you're that way inclined, and get yourself subscribed and involved in the chat with the legends and have your say. But we've got plenty to dissect today, so we're going to cover it all. The Vootinator, hope you're good, pal. T1, how are you doing there? Eyeball Paul, what's going on as well? Bunch of legends joining us. Thanks for joining. Right, well, let's talk about the latest goings on at Manchester United, the transfer news. Ten Hag's looking to obviously get some players in very, very soon. We have to do some business early doors because the squad is shite, depleted, lots of melters, lots of players on the way out. Lots of players leaving on a free, also players probably leaving elsewhere as well, Dean Henderson or whoever else may go out in terms of a transfer. So plenty of players leaving this summer. We've got to do some business. There's other teams doing business. Why is Steven Gerrard being able to sign up? Why has he been able to sign up Kamara on a free transfer, a player that we were linked to for nothing, and he's already got him linked, he's already got him signed up, and they've already gone and got Diego Carlos as well. And as you can see here, Fabrizio Romano gave us an update earlier on that says Diego Carlos has already completed his medical tests as new Aston Villa player after club statement. He's in England to sign the contract. Nice. Good for fucking Aston Villa. You know, that's what I'm saying, guys. This is classic United, isn't it? There's other clubs doing business. City have already got Haaland done up. We're going to negotiate all fucking summer long for Frenkie De Jong, no doubt, to save about £5 million. It's pathetic, isn't it? I just really hope that we can get some business done really, really soon, because the longer this goes on, it just gets more frustrating, guys. I know the window hasn't even opened yet, right? I get that. Okay, I get that. But there's other clubs that are doing business, so there's no good excuse for Manchester United not to be going out there in this window, making a bold claim and signing up one player at least already in the next few days. Is that really too much to ask for, just so we can get them lined up for when the transfer window does open? They can come in, we can have a pre-season with 10 Hag. We need to get a bunch of players in, don't we? So, you know, it frustrates me when I hear about other clubs doing business, because Man United are probably the club in the Premier League that needs to do the most business. And of course, there's so much left of the summer. But crikey, we better get a little head start. We better get a head start with how far away we are and how many players we've got going out of the football club. So, it's a disgrace. Hey there, Kieran. What's going on, mate? How you doing? Old Dirty Benjo. Bell 691 getting in here raw. Enor, what's good, mate? Yes, indeed, lad. Tomorrow, a la Madrid, absolutely. But yeah, thank you, everyone, for joining us and getting in here. Do drop a like on the stream. Hello, Jonathan Gallagher. Smash that thumbs up. Help us get out there on the old YouTube algorithm and get your thoughts and opinions in, as always. It's a fully interactive channel, so we let everyone have their say on this channel. We don't just read out members' comments or moderators' comments or super chats or anything like that. Get your opinions in, guys. We want to hear from you. But let me give you the latest update anyway on Frenkie De Jong. So we know that Manchester United are sharting the bed already, it seems, with negotiations. And we do have an update from Rob Dawson, ESPN, and various different places that are suggesting that Barcelona are looking for a replacement still for Frenkie De Jong. This is what they're doing currently. The transfer fees going to have to be around about £75 million for Manchester United to convince Barcelona to sell him to us. This is what's reported anyway. United are obviously unlikely to meet those terms and would have to seek a lower fee. There is a belief that Barcelona's financial situation could leave room for compromise. So here it is again, guys. United obviously clearly want to get this guy. Ten Hag wants him. They're obviously not fanning around and going after several other players at the same time at the moment, because they're focusing on De Jong. They want to get De Jong. It seems that we are pushing for Frenkie De Jong at this moment in time. It's understood that Ten Hag absolutely wants him in his team. And so United are prepared to do this whole palaver and this whole dance that you've got to do of transfer negotiations, and it takes time. And there's so many factors in this one as well where it could fall down. You know, the Champions League football situation. Does he actually want to leave Barca? Does Xavi want to sell him? It's a financial situation there at the club that is forcing this situation, it seems, from Barca if they want to strengthen elsewhere, buy Lua, etc. But it's just not a very good, it's not the ideal scenario for me, for us signing a player. But there you go anyway. £75 million is apparently the price of that they want for Frenkie De Jong. That's too much money. Man United are not going to pay that, nor should we pay that really. If they want to cash in, if they want to strengthen elsewhere, if they need to improve their economic situation, well then all the better for us to have a stronger point of negotiation. So, Barcelona can do one there. We're not paying £75 million for De Jong. Let's ask the live chat, guys. How much do you think Manchester United should pay for this guy? He's £60 million, guys, I'll tell you. But let's have a little vote in the live chat. What do you think Manchester United should pay for this guy? 60 million, yeah, he's a classy player, but Barca need to sell, it seems. And he's on big wages. It's like, they're asking for a bit too much for a player that they're trying to sell. Yeah, 60 top, says Berber. About 60, says Bell. 60 top, says Manhouse. 45, says Jimmy Jones. Sam Nixad says, what was the notification from the United app about this morning? Mentioned Nkunku talks were underway. Oh, nice one, Sam. We're going to get into that in a little bit, actually. We're just going to cover the De Jong stuff, but we have got a bit on Nkunku and some other players and links as well. Absolutely. So we'll cover that shortly. 50 million, says Eyeball Paul. 65, says Random Human. 60 top, says Susan Lively Sue. Hey, Susan, hope you're good today. Vutinator says 60 to 65. Thanks, guys. Yeah. So we're all in agreement. United shouldn't be paying anywhere over 60 or 65 million pounds for this guy. So, but this is how negotiations work. Obviously, Barca are not going to go in there and say we want 60 million. They're going to go high, which they have done, it seems. And it seems that Manchester United are going to have to put in a table an offer, which is obviously a lot lower than that, and have a negotiation with them. But yeah, Alex Shaw also at ESPN said that Erik ten Hag is set to press ahead with a move for Frenkie De Jong. He won't go to £75 million, but belief for compromise can be reached. So, yeah, I mean, look, this is a negotiation that Manchester United are going to do. Hopefully it can be wrapped up reasonably soon. If not, then we just need to dead it and move on to the next player target, because there's no point fanning around here for De Jong all summer long. We've got to guarantee we get somebody in early. Great, if we can get De Jong, I think most of us would be happy to get Frenkie De Jong in. He's a classy player, he's at the right age, he's worked under Ten Hag before. If anybody can help bring about a new sort of, a classic sort of Ten Hag style of play, I'm sure it'd help to have a player that's come from a Ten Hag system previously. Then you've also got Donny coming back into it, who's played with De Jong previously. So there are lots of positives and plus points for having this guy come in. I think he is a good player. There's also other great targets that we could go and get, though, as we've discussed many times. So either we have to get this wrapped up, get the business done immediately, get it done right now, and then so we can move on to the next target, or we just, move on to the next target now. That's it. Get this business wrapped up nice and early for De Jong. Let's not let this one drag out all summer long, because that would just be infuriating. You know what United negotiations are usually like. They do usually take quite a bit of time. Remember Sancho? I mean, these transfer negotiations can take a little bit of time for United. So hopefully Barca want to sell him. Hopefully they will come down on price. But it's understood they're looking for or asking for around about £75 million at the moment. United won't be prepared to go that high. We're looking to pay closer to 60 million. Maybe they can reach some sort of an agreement. 65 million quid. There you go. Maximum tops. We're not going to quibble over 5 million if we can sign this guy right at the start of the window. That's what I would be saying if I'm Ten Hag and, to the upstairs and to the board and everybody at the club. They're going to be having talks, going to be having, obviously, transfer meetings about what to do and how things are going and who's progressing, etc. So, yeah, Ten Hag is very much pushing for the signing of Frenkie De Jong. He wants to reunite him, and he wants to reunite with him, and he wants to get him in the team. So it's positive stuff. United have understood. United apparently set an ultimatum over Frenkie De Jong, and yeah, I mean, so Ten Hag's highly interested in bringing him in, but a Spanish report claims that Barca are currently obviously pursuing Lewandowski and even Manchester City player Bernardo Silva. And if they can secure one of those signings, then they would be happy to offload Frenkie De Jong. This is what a report has suggested coming out in Spain. But Manchester United supposedly not prepared to pay any more money than £65 million. So there you go, guys. That is about the amount of money United would be looking to pay, 65 million. Barca looking for a bit more, but United understandably don't want to pay anywhere near that. So, also, as you can see at the bottom of that tweet there, it does say, elsewhere, PSG eager to offload Neymar. Barcelona look to offload 10 players. Neymar is perhaps going to be offloaded for PSG. Who knows? I mean, let me just ask the live chat just for fun very quickly. Would you take Neymar at Manchester United if the price was right? Yes or no? Clearly a great player. Clearly a world-class player. Guess what, though? I don't like him, guys. He's a fucking absolute little diving melt. You know what I mean? I don't really want him in the team, to be honest. That's my thoughts on it. He is a great player, and actually, Man United probably would be good to have him because he's a classy player, but I don't know if he's the right sort of character. He's a money grabber also. That's the reason he went to PSG in the first place, is just for money. So, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people saying yes, though. I mean, his skills and qualities are undoubted. He's Brazil's best player. He's a great player. He's obviously a fantastic player, but no, I'm sorry to say, I wouldn't have him at the football club. I think it would cost too much money as well. Just think about the wages involved. Think about the fees and all that sort of stuff. It would just ruin us. I don't think it's a good idea right now for us personally. But Sleep Tight thinks yes. So does FIFA Don and Nicholas. Kingslayer and David Lee say no. Eyeball Paul says yes. So does FIFA Don and Jonathan Dolby. He's done and dusted, says Kingslayer. Berber says Neymar is the cherry on a cake. We need a cake first. Yeah, well, that's true, don't we? Yeah, you're so right. I mean, what's the point of having another good forward player when we've got an absolutely gas-tastic midfield and defence? So we do need to get other areas of the team sorted out. Can't stand him, says Jimmy Jones. No, he's a diver, says Steve McGregor. No, says Shamir David Lee. Yes, for the right price, says Gary Butler. Fair enough. Shirt seller, though. Well, it is a Glazer signing, isn't it, Eyeball Paul? Fair play. Okay, well, anyway, that's just that. We're not going to get Neymar anyway, guys. It's just a bit of fun, that. But I don't think that's going to happen. But there you go. Maybe they are looking to offload him. We'll have to see what progresses with that one. But just so you know, Frenkie De Jong, Manchester United are still pushing for the summer transfer of Frenkie De Jong. It's suspected that we're going to be signing at least one midfielder this summer window, a big midfielder. Has to be somebody that's going to have control in that midfield, somebody that's comfortable on the ball, that can play out from the back, that can create. It depends which type of defensive midfielder you want. Frenkie De Jong is not really an out-and-out proper defensive midfielder, but he is like somebody that can play deep and be more of a deep line playmaker for you. So it depends what sort of way you want to go. If that's how Ten Hag wants to play, where he wants more technical players who can control the game and outplay opposition teams in the midfield with their passing and that sort of thing, then obviously he's going to want to get somebody like Frenkie De Jong. Whereas, if he was Jose Mourinho or whoever, he'd want to get somebody who's more of an outright physical sort of CDM ball winner type. But United, I think whichever way you look at it, wherever we could play Frenkie De Jong, whether it's going to be more of the creative player in a two in midfield, or if it's going to be the deeper player who's maybe got more defensive responsibilities. I think he can do both. He's not an out-and-out defensive midfielder, but in terms of what we're looking to try and do in that midfield, perhaps in a Ten Hag team, to have ballers in the middle of the park who can control and outplay the opposition is exactly what we want. So, I'm not too bothered about the fact that he's not a physical player, but there are links to, Neymar, people like this over in Germany as well. It'll be in the McTominay new contract, says the big guy. 60 million plus the slam, says Sam Sucker. We don't want to put them off. We don't want to put them off, mate. We'd have to give them 20 million plus the slab. But because they'd be doing us a favour taking him off our hands. But anyway, we are reportedly determined to bring him in, guys. So hopefully we can progress well over the next couple of weeks. Even couple of days, I would like to think. But we know how United work. The truth is the window's not open for a little while. It doesn't really matter as long as you get the business done up in the next month and get all of these players in. So when the pre-season is, everybody comes back for pre-season, then we can get to work. That's the idea here, to give Ten Hag as much chance as possible for the new season. In order to do that, he's going to have, I think, 3 or 4 players ready in the team, new players that have just been signed for pre-season, to be able to work with them, to be able to get any sort of basis of how we're going to play, and to get their roles settled a little bit in the team for the start of the campaign. So definitely would be good to get these guys wrapped up. That's why I think United are currently focusing solely on Frenkie De Jong. They want to get this deal sorted out. The thing is, with Lewandowski's situation there, that may be a little bit of a slow burner as well. So it does seem like Barcelona's situation is sort of dependent on if they can buy Lewandowski or if they're looking to sign another player. And if they are going to do that, then they may have to sell Frenkie De Jong. But until they do that, maybe they won't. So it could be a little bit of a slow one. Let's hope United can get this deal done very, very soon. Garnacho over Neymar, says Kingslayer. Like your style. Also, a fan shouted at Frenkie De Jong. So after his last game at the Accor Stadium, where Barcelona won against the A-League All-Stars earlier this week, he made his way to the tunnel, and a fan filmed him, a United fan apparently, and shouted at him and said, "Ten Hag is waiting for you. Come to United," or something like that. And he smiled or whatever. probably didn't have a fucking clue what he was saying, but that is apparently news headline worthy stuff. That's what's being reported, is that, you know, Frenkie De Jong reacted to Manchester United fans when they shouted, Erik ten Hag is coming for you. Thank you, Sam Suckers. It's a great show, mate. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much. Everyone, do us a massive favor. Actually, drop that like on this video if you just joined us. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the show. Also, get your thoughts and opinions in. Help us compete with the clickbait merchants and the corporations by smacking that thumbs up on the video. Oh, hell yeah. You know it makes sense. Right. So yeah, good stuff, guys. Hopefully that's going to happen. We're pushing for a Frenkie De Jong deal, and that's pretty much all we've really got on Frenkie at this moment in time. I mean, we do have a little bit more info that Frenkie De Jong would have to be convinced to join Manchester United, which is not what we want to hear. I don't want to convince anyone to join Manchester United, really. He either wants to come and play for the greatest club in the world, or he doesn't. You know, and if he doesn't want to reunite with Ten Hag even, then we don't want him anyway. So, but there you go. Apparently, he would have to be convinced to join United, I guess, because we don't have Champions League football, and probably mainly because he doesn't really want to leave Barcelona. There's not an ideal sign in this one. What's up there, Haji of Warrior says, I hope that happens. Frenkie De Jong would be an amazing addition. Absolutely agree with you, mate. If we can pull it off, it'd be a great signing. But it does say United's interest is the strongest at this moment in time in Frenkie De Jong. So there are reports of other clubs being touted as maybe being offered Frenkie De Jong, such as PSG, Man City. But it's understood that Manchester City are distancing themselves from Frenkie De Jong. So that's good, because there were reports that with maybe Fernandinho outgoing, they might be trying to maybe bring in a player of that caliber, and maybe playing for Pep and playing for City, who are going to win stuff, would actually be more appealing. So yeah, we've got Erik ten Hag, but we don't have Champions League football, and we're not in a very good place right now. So, but either way, Frenkie De Jong, it depends, doesn't it? I don't know. Let's have a little vote in the live chat. Do you want Frenkie De Jong at Manchester United? Yes or no? Bear in mind that there's some reports like he doesn't even really want to leave Barca, and he might need convincing to join Ten Hag at United, etc. I mean, it's not ideal, is it? Let us know what you're thinking, though. I would take him because he's a classy player, and Ten Hag would, I'm sure, get the best out of him, and they'd have that understanding, that relationship. But it's not a perfect signing based on where the situation is with him and his club. Rushmano, what's going on, mate? How you doing there? AR Dan says yes. Chief Rumour says yes. Great shouts. Sleep Tight says hell yes. Yes, yes, and yes, says the Vutinator. Yes, but only if he wants us. No Di Maria 2.0, says Berber. I couldn't agree more. Like, that's the last thing we want, is a player that's just coming here because they've been offered away at their football club and they're unwanted. That's not really the perfect situation for me. But he is young. It is different because, you know, he's got that history with Ten Hag as well. So there's some extra plus points that are there. But yeah, I know what you mean. Unless he really 100% wants to come, what's the point? But lots of people saying yes, Sam, Sucker, Madhouse, Jonathan, Robert Goodwin, Joseph Success, Kingslayer, Ali doesn't want him. Well, I'll tell you one thing though, guys. So I do want Frenkie De Jong, but as I've mentioned it previously, he's not my ideal choice for midfield because he's not really 100% committed to wanting to leave Barcelona, I don't think. I think he wants to stay. So for those reasons, it's not perfect at all. We're sort of getting a player who's not really wanted to come. Even though if he did come, I'm sure he'd be a really good player. But also there's other players that have some more Premier League experience maybe we could go and get as well for maybe less money. I mean, Ruben Neves may not be easily obtainable, but he's definitely a good player. I would love to see Ruben Neves play for United. I think he's the right age and all the rest of it. Very, very good experience within the Premier League. It's important. De Jong, though, is a bigger name player. He's been playing at a higher level. So he is better in that sense because he's been playing in the Champions League. He's been playing, you know, for Barcelona and the top of La Liga, etc. So he's obviously a better quality signing, but he doesn't want to come 100%. So, you know, that's what I'm saying. There's other players. Tielemans at Leicester. He's only got a year left on his contract, looking to leave. Could be had for 45 million or 40 million. Just saying, he could be a decent acquisition alongside, you know, a more central defensive midfield signing as well. Maybe get a more out-and-out defensive midfielder. But hey, look, it depends how Ten Hag wants to play. He wants De Jong. That's the situation. He wants De Jong, guys. And he's going to try and get De Jong. If Barcelona don't want to sell De Jong for a fair price, or Frenkie doesn't want to come to Manchester United, then we'll move on to the next target. But it does seem right now we are focusing all of our attentions on Frenkie De Jong. It does depend on Barcelona and Lewandowski and all the rest of it and who they're signing. But Manchester United trying to progress with him. Hopefully we could get him. But if not, then we need to move on to somebody like Ruben Neves or move on to another player because we can't spend a long time this transfer window, trying to negotiate and have this long drawn out negotiation process like we have had in previous seasons, because otherwise Ten Hag won't have his squad that he needs right at the start of pre-season. He needs 3 or 4 signings right before we've even got going and he's even got on the training ground. So, yeah, so we're positive that Frenkie De Jong can come in. Let's get on to the next news story, guys, which is Pau Torres. So reports coming out that United have consulted Erik ten Hag on Pau Torres. Manchester Evening News report that United have consulted Erik ten Hag on the probability of signing Pau Torres this summer, and we're looking obviously to bring in various players, but certainly as centre back. It's also understood that he wants to bring in Jurriën Timber from Ajax, which is looking like a very much a very likely move, just for the fee involved, around about 30 million, and also the link with Ten Hag, the fact that he's young, the fact that he's versatile. He could be a good player for us in various positions. Hopefully, obviously it depends how he does in the Premier League, but he seems like he's probably one of the most advanced signings that we've got coming in soon, hopefully. But it's understood that initial talks have taken place to gauge the possibility of a move for Pau Torres, and that the transfer has also been discussed internally with Ten Hag. So, it's looking positive. I mean, Fabrizio Romano also said that that Pau Torres would be open to a move to Manchester United. So he would be happy to come to Manchester United. It is a big club. It is a step up. Okay, we don't have Champions League football this season, but I think he can see the vision of the club. He can see the future of the football club. We have got some great players. It is a huge club, and it could be a very special era over the next few years if all things go to plan. So, yeah, it's a great opportunity for somebody. Pau Torres is interested in joining Manchester United by all accounts, and Man United are interested in bringing this guy in. He wouldn't cost a fortune either. Torres, he actually has a release clause on his current deal, which is in the region of 60 million euros. He penned a new contract extension until 2024 a few years ago. But Villarreal are understandably open to less money than that to sell this guy if it takes just a little bit off of that fee. And also they might even be interested in allowing a player to come in the opposite direction. I don't know who could maybe go in the opposite direction, but there's a lot of players that United are looking to get rid of. Well, it would probably quite soften the deal for Villarreal, really, or soften the loss of a player like Pau Torres if they could get somebody like, I don't know, Eric Bailly. And Eric Bailly is pretty much surplus to requirements in Manchester United, isn't he? He's not really likely to stay. He's not really likely to feature that much. He's injury prone. He's not even played that much over a few years. So it does make sense for United to maybe try and offload him this summer. But for them to get a player like that in return, who's already a centre-back, etc., maybe that does make sense. Or what about Phil Jones to Villarreal? No, but in all seriousness, guys, this is looking like it's a strong link. Also, Ten Hag wants to bring in Pau Torres. He's not a huge amount of money. We know we could bringing in 2 centre-backs. And I think it is a statement of intent from Ten Hag to get rid of some of the gash we've got at the back if he's going after 2 defenders. So if for some of the first targets that Ten Hag has is to go and get Timber and Torres, what does that really tell you? It tells you that he's analysed Manchester United to have an absolutely awful defence, which is true. He's analysed us well then, because if we're going to sign 2 defenders, that means he wants to improve that defence quite significantly. We have got Varane. Luke Shaw had a great season last season, be shite this year, but maybe he could get the best out of him again. But there's a couple of positions in that back line which is just no good. Maguire's absolutely slabtastic captain, isn't he? He's gash. And then also Bailly's going to have to go. Phil Jones is going to have to go. Victor Dwindloff, I mean, he might keep him. Maybe he can get more out of Victor Dwindloff, but Dwindloff is at best a backup squad player, in my opinion. He's an injury-prone melter himself. See you later on, Victor. If you could get him gone out in the opposite direction, it wouldn't bother me much at all. So, but there you go. There's a few players that could be on their way out, especially if we do sign 2 centre-backs. So it's good news, guys. It's positive stuff from Ten Hag. It seems like he's analysed this team well, because I think we are pretty vulnerable at the back there, and we do need to improve that area. We also have to sign, in my opinion, a couple of midfielders, but I think one would do if you get the right one, especially with Donny coming back into it and having that Ten Hag link. Maybe the way we're going to play next season with, say, a De Jong and Donny in midfield, although that doesn't sound that amazing right now, could actually, if Ten Hag can get the team playing the way he wants them to, could actually be pretty amazing for us in regards to controlling that midfield and being creative. Certainly those guys, De Jong and Donny van de Beek, are much better on the ball much better technically than the likes of Fred and McTominay. So that would excite me. If Ten Hag wants to play a more attacking style, more higher up, maybe he'll have a lot more possession control of the game. Then he's going to have a good midfield that can hold their own, that can keep hold of the ball well, that can get us playing out, that can actually create chances from midfield, because that's something we really, really struggled at this season. So having something like Donny and De Jong in there would be great. Yeah, that's right, Wiggy. Yep, hopefully Rafael Varane can be less injured this season. But yes, mate, just going back onto the defence then. So the Ten Hag's obviously really trying to sign Jurrien Timber as well from Ajax. Apparently he's championed Jurrien Timber throughout his recruitment meetings, and the club have held very many exploratory talks in regards to different defenders that we could sign. It's understood that Ten Hag really, really wants Jurrien Timber, and he also wants Pau Torres. United's board and everybody there want to go and get Pau Torres as well. I guess commercially it's good for them, isn't it? Have a Spanish centre-back international on the side, etc. And then he's obviously wanting that guy as well. So come on, United, we could go and get both of these defenders this window. How good would our defence be compared to how it is now if we could go and get these two players? Some people call Pau Torres the Spanish Slabby Maguire. I do disagree with that, and I think Timber is very exciting, very quick, versatile, can play right back, can play in that centre-back position. I mean, whichever combination you want to put out there next season, if we had Pau Torres and Timber come in, I think we'd have a much better backline. So you look around the squad, you could maybe line up with Varane, Luke Shaw, Torres, and then Timber right back, or you could do something like Timber and Torres in the middle, and if Varane's injured, or you can do Varane and Torres, or Varane and Timber, or Timber and Torres. Like, you know, there's surely these are decent combinations compared to proven rubbish, which we've got Maguire and Lindelof as an absolutely awful combination. Lindelof and Bailly, proven erratic mess. You know, Varane and Maguire, that's no good. Maguire's slow as all sin. You know, so we've seen and proven and tried and tested the other combinations at this football club. I think, yeah, it'd be nice to get rid of a lot of those centre-backs and sign new players. So the other day I asked you how many players could we sign in the defence, and a lot of people said one or two. But what I'm going to ask you is, how many defenders that are currently at Manchester United right now do you think do you think we will sell this summer? Not should or could, but actually, do you think we will sell? How many? I think we're going to sell at least two centre-backs. Surely we're going to sell at least two centre-backs this window if we're signing two centre-backs. So you can think of a few players we've got that maybe will be parting ways. Axel Tuanzebe, I suppose, could be moved on. You've also got Phil Jones. I mean, surely Phil Jones has to be gone. And then also Eric Bailly, I think, looks probably the most likely of players to leave. But then you've also got some wild cards of players that we should try and probably sell. If an offer came in for the likes of Lindelof that was decent, or an offer came in for Harry Maguire, God forbid, then we should probably sell him. What's up there, Nicholas Williams? How you doing, mate? One of the channel member legends. Hope you're doing good there, Nicholas Williams, my man. Yeah, Robert Goodman says, don't talk bad on Donny until he plays. Yeah, well, yeah, you go. He hasn't had a fair chance, hasn't had a fair crack at the whip at Manchester United yet. Give him a chance. Let's see how he does under Ten Hag. He's not done anything to shine or mesmerise us while he's been here at United, but he's not really been given any chances. So I agree. Give him a chance. Give him a chance. Okay. Right then. So very positive stuff. Phil Jones, Eric Bailly, these guys could be leaving. Tuanzebe, maybe he could be sold. And hopefully, with any luck, Slabby Maguire would be sent off to the scrap heap because he's absolutely dreary. So yeah, see you later on. Let's get a little hashtag Maguire out in the live chat. Two definitely, says Sam Sucker. Yeah, I think you're right, bro. I think you're right. Right then, so, but yes, as I say, Fabrizio Romano revealed that United target Pau Torres would be quite happy to join Manchester United. He said Pau Torres is another player they mentioned. From what I'm told, Pau would be open for a Premier League move, even to Manchester United. There is a release clause, around 60 million euros. This summer, Villarreal could be open to discuss with Manchester United, but at the moment, we're not at the stage yet to say that Pau Torres is close. So that's a latest sort of update from Fab, but seemingly Pau Torres would be open to joining Manchester United this summer, which would be great. I'm just going to get into the live chat for a minute, actually, see your thoughts on the defence. Then we're going to get on to the next player that we're linked with. But do have your say very quickly in regards to maybe who you think we should sign at centre-back, or who you think we should get rid of. I'm just going to dip into the live chat for just a minute. Thanks everyone who's in here tonight, or in here today. Hey, we got 77 likes on the stream. Let's get this puppy to 100. Thank you everyone for dropping in here. Do leave a cheeky little like on it if you haven't done. It's free. Sam Neeksad, he says Tuanzebe signed a 2-year extension with us in August. Yes, but obviously we've got a new coach that's come in, and if there was an offer from a team, like let's say, I don't know, I mean, it doesn't seem like Villa would be would be going for him because they've just signed Diego Carlos. But you never know. I mean, there's obviously teams that would want Tuanzebe, so they could come in with an offer and we could sell him. You know, just because he's got a contract doesn't really mean that much. I mean, it just means you can get a little bit more money if a team did come in for a transfer offer. That's if we can sell the guy. You know, there's lots of players that are just too, maybe not actually that easily to sell, such as Martial. Martial is a player we should definitely look to get rid of this summer. But he's probably not that easy to sell because he's on big money and he's had a shite season. So nobody's going to be looking after him, I don't think. Brighton looking at Tuanzebe, says Rushmano. Excellent. That'd be great. Yeah, that's what I mean. We can offload a few of our centre-backs. Let's hope that Newcastle are looking at Harry Maguire. There's some BS reports coming out that Barca would be interested in slabbing Maguire. I tell you what, if they are, fucking hell, what an amazing piece of business that would be. If Ten Hag could somehow pull off a Harry Maguire swap deal with Frenkie De Jong and some cash, I think we'd all absolutely worship the guy, wouldn't we? Imagine if we paid 20 mil for De Jong, but they just got Harry Maguire as well. Why would they want him, guys? Why would they want him? That's the thing, but apparently it's some bullshit link anyway. Right, okay, yeah, Harry Maguire to Barcelona. Dreams. We have to dream, guys. Okay, so we got some reports from Germany as well that United are interested in making an offer soon, perhaps for Christopher Nkunku. These are the latest reports that are coming out. So Florian Plettenberg from Sky over in Germany did give a little bit of an update that just said, yes, there's a good contact between Man United and the players' management. It said that an official offer could arrive in Leipzig next week. United bosses rate him as very good. Rangnick recommended his transfer as reported, but RB still won't sell. So it doesn't seem like RB Leipzig would be interested in selling the guy. Manchester United have a few different options up there in terms of strikers, forward players to score us some goals that we could go and sign. We're still linked to Darwin Nunez, which we'll get into in a minute. But just a new, fresh report in regards to Nkunku, just suggesting that Manchester United are in discussions, are having some talks about it, and maybe would be putting in an offer. I personally think it's kind of bullshit. I don't think it would be the best of signings for us right now. He is a great player, actually, and his stats don't lie. I mean, I've got his stats up in front of me here, and he scored 20 goals over in the Bundesliga this season with 15 assists in 34 games. So that's 35 goal contributions in 34 games. Pretty ridiculous stats. So very, very impressive. Although the season before, 6 in 28. So you've got to go, okay, he's progressed and burst on the scene this season, though, which is great. He's obviously a good player, isn't he? And he's only 24. So it's not very old. He's also not a huge amount of money. Like, I think you could probably get him for 50 million or somewhere around about that. Maybe even less, maybe a bit more. I'm not 100%, but he's not a ridiculous amount of money. The only thing is that he's from the German league, and the German league is an absolute German farmers bloody Mickey Mouse league, guys. Let's be honest, it's not that much better than the League One. Okay, it is actually. It is a bit better, but it's not that much better. I think they have got a few good teams, but it's just not that impressive when you're looking at the lower teams in the Bundesliga and seeing them getting whipped up by the top teams who've got all the quality players, etc. So I don't really think that if you get 20 goals in the Bundesliga, then that means you're going to get anywhere near 20 goals in the Premier League. It's totally different. It's so much harder in the Premier League to score those goals. We've seen countless players come over from Germany where they've been scoring loads and loads of goals, and they've done shit in England. So it's really, really not the most convincing of signings for me, though he is a good player. But it just, it's one of those links that is just out there that's probably just a vague link that because he's available and, he's a player that's around. But, everybody's linked to Manchester United right now because everybody knows we need a complete summer rebuild. So that's probably what this is, guys. We don't think we're strongly going to be working on Christopher Nkunku, but if we do change that, if that does change, then I'll let you know the information. But reports anyway in Germany that Manchester United are in contact in regards to Christopher Nkunku. Let's have a little vote in the live chat. Would you take Christopher Nkunku at Manchester United? Yes or no? Let us know what you guys are saying. No, I mean, all of the German teams are not gash, to be fair, Mark Wallace. There are some good teams over there. It has to be said, there's a few good ones, but I just think in terms of like the competition levels throughout the whole league, you can't really compare it with the Premier League because the Premier League is just so much more difficult. Would I take Chris Smalling back at all from Roma, says David Seaman? I mean, I wouldn't, no. We've had our time with him. And no, I wouldn't. He's had a good season, though, hasn't he? He is a good player. Naz says yes. Mark Wallace says yes. David Lee says yes. Alex Walker says yes. Eyeball Paul says yes. Maybe 40 million says Madhouse. Yeah, I mean, true Matty Braga. He says, I'd take anyone over our starting 11 besides De Gea or Ronaldo. I mean, fair enough. This guy's the right age. He's definitely progressed well. He has had a couple of caps for France now as well. He's had 2 caps. Hasn't scored yet, but he's had two caps. So he's in the international setup for France at least, or in and around it, which is not easy to do. So he's obviously really quite a good player, and he's scored quite a lot of goals and got a lot of assists in the Bundesliga and is an exciting talent. But the Bundesliga is the Bundesliga. I don't think he would replicate those goals necessarily in the league. But then again, maybe we don't need him to right away because Ronaldo's still here. We just need someone to come out and play a versatile role as well. Maybe play a little bit on the wings sometimes as well. I mean, obviously this guy's mostly going to be playing through the middle. But somebody that can support the main striker as well, somebody that can create goals, score goals, and support Ronaldo up there would be good. And also, he can play out wide as well. Like he's played, it seems like 12 appearances here for Leipzig as a left wing all throughout his career anyway. So he has played a little bit in other positions, but mostly as a sort of support striker, second striker, or attacking midfielder. But as an actual centre forward, he can also score you some goals there as well. So, he's a versatile forward player, which is a plus point, guys. Yes, depending on the cost, says Susan Lively Sue. Rushminer says Smalling isn't dynamic enough. Yeah, we've been there with Chris Smalling. We don't want to go back. I mean, if we could do worse than let's say Chris Smalling and Johnny Evans. I think if we'd have just had Chris Smalling and Johnny Evans over the last few seasons, we probably wouldn't have been any worse off than having Maguire and Lindelof, in all fairness. They'd have probably done just as well, but they're still, if not better, but they're still not top-tier players, and Manchester United have to try and work towards that. That's why Rafael Varane's a great signing, because we know he's a top-tier player. He's just obviously injury-prone, which is unfortunate. So, yeah, but we need to get some better quality players in there, and if we can't go and buy a big-name player like Rafael Varane right now, then we need to create our own one or sign a really good young star that's the progressing rail and has the potential to go on to be that. Somebody like, Jurriën Timber, etc. So, yeah. Right, okay, we've got more transfer news as well. That Manchester United have, this is from Fabrizio Romano yesterday, that United and Crystal Palace are keeping tabs on Derby County's Malcolm Eboué. Talented striker born in 2003. Monaco and Vitesse also interested. He has a Dutch passport. Steve McLaren's leaving Derby to join Man United could be a factor. No decision yet. So, look, maybe another squad player. I don't really know too much about this guy, in all fairness, guys. Malcolm Eboué or Eboué. Talented striker born in 2003. Young guy, 19 years of age. Monaco and Vitesse interested, but maybe a cheap option for Manchester United just to bolster some of our attacking options, guys. Anybody seen this guy play? Because I really haven't watched any. I know Rooney was managing Derby this season. I haven't really watched much of him though. So, anybody seen this guy play, guys? Let us know what you're thinking. Oh shit, what's going on my keyboard there? Matty Braga says, is Timber a done deal yet? It's not a done deal yet, mate. No, there's still a few things to sort out, but it's progressing. As we understand, Manchester United is just still looking to cement an actual transfer fee with Ajax and get that agreement in place. It's understood that wages and fees and things like that between player and club would not be an issue at all. And it's understood that Jurriën Timber does want to join Manchester United and would be keen to reunite with Ten Hag in Manchester. So that's the latest we've got, but nothing's done deal at all. In my opinion, that will be the one that's wrapped up the quickest, though, or the one that is, more or less guaranteed to happen at the start of the transfer window. With no ECL, just saying Man United doesn't get the rise of a lot of players, says Mark Wallace. They won't get the top players. You can't, if you look at who's around right now, Lewandowski's moved in this summer, potentially. Haaland's just moved. Mbappe, there was talks of him moving. He stayed at PSG for a fortune now, but United wouldn't be able to go and get elite players right now. We just can't do that. We have to look around for a different type of player and try and create our own stars at the moment rather than going to buy these big names. That's why I wouldn't be interested in Neymar or whoever right now. It's not the right fit or the right look for United right now. Plus, I don't think we'd be able to get them anyway because, as you say, we don't have Champions League football. We're not guaranteed to win anything, and it's a bit of a project at Manchester United, so... Rushy says we got 91 likes. Thank you, everyone. Nice one, Rush Mono, for giving us a like update there. Appreciate that. So, yeah, United could join Spurs for this Derby starlet, Malcolm Eboué. He's 18 years of age, actually. He's a first-team regular under Wayne Rooney. He contributed 3 goals in 16 appearances in the Championship. He's impressed at youth level. Look, he's just a young kid that maybe could help out and bolster some of our options at forward there. I don't know if there's strong basis for us being linked with this guy, but Fab has reported that Manchester United are interested maybe in looking at him, or we're keeping tabs on him. So there's just a little bit of an update there, guys. And there's also reports that United are potentially looking to make a Christopher Nkunku bid soon, after having some sort of contact with RB Leipzig. But it's understood that RB Leipzig don't really want to sell him, but because of the situation with his contract, it expires in 2 years' time, so he's not got the longest of contracts. Maybe we'd be able to get him for 40 or 50 million, somewhere in that region. So he is a player that's linked to us as well as Darwin Nunez. So Benfica striker Darwin Nunez is still being heavily linked to Manchester United. Yeah, I mean, look, this guy is obviously a very, very exciting player. Out of the two of them, I think I would prefer to get Darwin Nunez based on what I've seen, based on how exciting he looks. And Nkunku's also a ridiculously talented player and is also just as creative as he is as a goal scorer, which is impressive and important. But so is Darwin Nunez if you look at his stats as well. So both of these players would be a good option, but I just prefer out of the two of them Darwin, because he's a little bit younger as well. His goal record is quite unbelievable. It's very, very impressive, actually, what he's managed to get. So he did get 14 goals and 12 assists last season, which is very good. And then he surpassed these numbers massively this season by chalking up 34 goals in 41 matches and getting 4 assists. And 6 of those strikes came in the Champions League. So, you know, I mean, he's pretty impressive. He's a pretty impressive player in terms of a 22-year-old looking like he's got a lot of potential. Let me just ask the live chat. If you could only sign one of these forwards that we're discussing here right now out of Darwin Nunez and Christopher Nkunku, who would you bring in if you could just bring in one of those players? Nkunku's a little bit more advanced, maybe 24, playing in the German league, which is arguably better than the Portuguese league. I don't know. I mean, the Portuguese league's very, very good as well. It's got some decent teams in it. They're both not the best leagues, though. So... But let's have a little vote. Who would you take out of Darwin Nunez and also Christopher Nkunku? But he's understood that Benfica are reportedly valuing him around about £66 million. So there is a little factor there as well that Benfica are looking for a heck of a lot more money than what RB Leipzig potentially would be for Nkunku. So maybe Nkunku could be had for a little bit less money. Maybe Nunez would be a little bit more money, but he's also younger. And he's got more potential, more future saleability, etc. as well, maybe. Madhouse says Nunez for 60 million. Eyeball Paul says Nkunku. Rushmono says Nunez just. AR Dan says Nunez. Ghost 98 says Nunez. Sports Further says Richarlison is good, but not Champions level. Yeah, fuck Richarlison, mate. He's not going to be the answer, is he? We don't want to be Billy Bang Average competing for just about to stay up. Looking gash. Now, Richarlison's a good player, mate. He's a good player. But like you say, he's not a good enough player. We need to aim higher than Richarlison. You want to hold back 4 instead of attack, says Jonathan Gallagher. Hey, fair play. Good shout. Well, we might get your wish with 2 players at least. And then that should help us out no end. And then we do need to address the midfield, though, Jonathan. So you have to spread it around the rest of the squad. Nunez says Susan. Nkunku says Nas. Yeah, well, there you go, Vishnu says Nkunku also plays in right wing. With CR7. Well, I mean, in regards to Nkunku, if you look at where he's played mostly throughout his career, he hasn't really played in the wide positions that much. I mean, he has got some games there, though, definitely. I mean, what I really like about him is he's versatile. I'm looking at his stats here, and he's literally played, this is throughout his whole career, by the way, so not just for Leipzig. This is just his whole career. But he's played 12 games as a left wing, 23 as a left mid, 69 as a CM, 44 as an attacking midfielder, 33 as a second striker or support striker, 7 as a centre forward, 4 as a right wing, and 20 as a right mid, and even 1 as a right back. You know what I mean, guys? So this guy can play pretty much anywhere. So that is what is very good about Christopher Nkunku. He's very versatile. So, yeah, it's a good point you make. I mean, he has played a bunch of games throughout his career all over the place. So it's a very much a good factor for signing somebody like that is their versatility. That's why Jurriën Timber would be a decent signing, because he can play centre-back and right-back as well. Veghorst says Vicious Bin Man. Interesting, mate. Interesting shout. Richarlison seems too stroppy, says Berber. Yeah, he is a bit of a twat, isn't he? All right, okay, fair enough. But anyway, right, here we go. So, So we do have some interest in a Derby youngster. It's also reported that United are considering 2 goalkeepers to sign as a backup. Carl Darlow and Daniel Bachmann are among the goalkeepers under consideration. There's already also talks about Sam Johnston previously as well. But basically, Carl Darlow and Watford Daniel Bachmann are under consideration by United. It's being suggested that maybe Darlow could be used in a potential exchange with Henderson just to sweeten the deal as a backup goalie. So just not very exciting news there, guys. But there are reports that Newcastle progressing with Manchester United for the sale of Dean Henderson. United trying to offload some players, generate some more cash. He's a player that's not played, that's not going to play, that is on big money, that could be sold and actually have a career now. So he's going to be sold, which is good. But maybe we could just bring in one of these backup goalies just to help out. Maybe they're trying to work on some things behind the scenes there. So interesting. Also, we have a report from Samuel Luckhurst that representatives of Dean Henderson, Wan-Bissaka and Brandon Williams have already sought clarity and are already planning an exit from Manchester United, essentially. So, few players there, perhaps, that are just not really going to be favoured under Erik ten Hag. Wan-Bissaka being heavily linked with Crystal Palace, Dean Henderson heavily linked with Newcastle, and even Brandon Williams might not have a future under ten Hag. There's a few players that need to have a chat and discussion. There's also reports that Harry Maguire is going to have a crunch meeting with Erik ten Hag soon to decide his future. He is the captain of the club, obviously. He is the captain, and depends what Ten Hag wants to do. You heard his comments when he was asked about Maguire and the captaincy when he first came in his presser. But obviously he's keeping his cards close to his chest. He's going to work on things behind the scenes. He's not going to come in and bash the captain straight away, I don't think. So we don't really know truly what his thoughts are on Maguire. My personal opinion is, if you look at his business that he's trying to do, or that we're looking at trying to do at the moment with Jurriën Timber and also Pau Torres, I think that's quite a big indicator that he's not happy with the defence that Manchester United have got and the players that are there. So, you know, I think he's looking around that team, especially after watching that last game of the season in person, and he's gone, crikey, this is a shit show. Maguire turns like a fucking man truck. He also, is just not really solid enough, good enough. Lindelof's error-laden as well, and it's just not a good enough combination. Varane's injury-prone. You can't rely on Varane. As good as Rafael Varane is, you can't rely on him for the whole entirety of the season. He's going to be looking in and out the side more often than Rooney and a granny. He's going to be properly in and out the side often. I don't know why I said that. Sorry, Wayne Rooney, club legend. Fucking love the guy. But you know what I mean? He's going to be seriously in and out the team a lot because he's so injury prone. So you can't really rely on him. So we do need to bolster our defensive options. More than a cruise liner, says Mark Wallace. Anyway. Okay. But yeah, reports that Dean Henderson's just so likely to join Newcastle at any moment now. Hopefully, reports will be that Dean Henderson has left and joined Newcastle United, guys, for, I'm hoping, £40 million. How much money do you think we'll get for Dean Henderson from the Geordies then? They've got loads of money bags. We're not going to sell anybody for chump change. I think we'll get 30 million for him. I'm hoping we can get 40 million. What do you think we should sell him for? Let us know. But yeah, just on the other end of it, it looks like Carl Darlow is being offered in the opposite direction, just as a make-weight maybe to be a backup goalkeeper for us. And that's all United need. We don't need another quality goalkeeper really to come in and challenge the likes of David De Gea for the #1 spot. That's not really what we need. We just need a backup now. Okay, maybe having Dean Henderson around kept David De Gea honest. He did have a bit of a dodgy season, De Gea, and then Henderson came back in, and then because of his presence, it seemed like David De Gea was really playing for his spot, and then he just cemented himself as our stalwart player, really, our star player this season, because he's just been a constant, one of the only impressive, consistent constants in the team. Evening there, Neil Driscoll. What's going on, mate? Hope you're doing good. 25 million and Darlow, says Eyeball Paul. 35 million says Harjiv. 30 says David Lee. 30 says Ghost. Yeah, so probably get around 30 million for him, hopefully. Ted Zavala says, sup, homies. I could see us getting 25 mil and a backup goalie, like we said. Yeah, we got Tom Heaton as well. Jonathan Gallagher, absolutely. But if Henderson's going, and we know Lee Grant has also gone, maybe we could do with one more. Just a backup goalie. I know Tom Heaton is a backup goalie, but really you need a few to choose from. Rashad Felicia, what's going on, my man? Welcome in. Give David De Gea the captaincy, says John Joe Go. No, De Gea will be given the captaincy. Maybe so, maybe so. He's one of the players that's deserving of it anyway. I personally would like maybe Ronaldo to have it, but I wouldn't begrudge giving it to De Gea because he does deserve it. He's one of the only players to deserve it. He's been here over a decade. He seems to love the club. He's loyal to the club. He speaks well after games. He speaks with a realist outlook. And I think he's exactly what we need for somebody to actually represent and wear the armband. Somebody that repeatedly holds himself to a high standard and performs well and consistently for the club. That's how you set a standard leadership as well. You don't have to be barking, shouting in the middle of the pitch all the time. Sometimes it's just about, organising the backline as well, but also he'll be able to just lead by example a little bit. But I would prefer it if Ronaldo was the captain. Let's ask the live chat, Ronaldo or De Gea for captain? Fair play. Ratchet says De Gea, Bruno or Ronaldo. I could see Bruno in the future if he sorts himself out. Just recently, he's not doing too well. Hey there, Fat Chinese Gaming. How you doing there, bro? He says, Phil Jones for captain. He loves a bit of Phil Jones. Captain of the tea room, maybe. De Gea or CR7 for captain, says Harjiv. 30 to 32 million for Dean, says Rajet. Hey there, Ov793. What's going on, mate? He says, you could go to B&Q and buy another slab for 80 million, says Ov793. There you go. We could get a lot cheaper slab. That's it. We might as well just offload Harry Maguire, go to B&Q, pick up a new one for much cheaper. Hey, 0793, anyway, hope you're good, bud. Ronaldo says Naz. Ronaldo says Mr. E-Pro. Ronnie says Eyeball Paul. Yeah, I'd just about go Cristiano as well. Okay, so Edinson Cavani's now officially, announced that he's leaving and stuff. He says, I sincerely have nothing but words of gratitude towards the fans and supporters of Manchester United. Honestly, they've shown me a lot of respect from the first moment I arrived. I think they're greatly recognised all the hard work I've always tried to put in the best possible way, giving my best for this team. I really am very grateful, and I'll be leaving here with a happy memory of that affection they showed me and always displayed. I've got a lot of time for Edison, guys. I like him. I think he's a passionate guy. I think he's quite a humble guy as well. He did have a bad season this season. He's not really had any impact whatsoever. It's been a failure of a season. But last season he was very good. I've got some time for Edison, but he's officially announced that, he is leaving Manchester United now. So just so you know, Edinson Cavani, the Matador race time at United is drawing to a close, and he will be moving on. But he's a nice character, isn't he? I mean, he's a good character. Seems like a good dude. I liked it when that super fan of his came with a scrapbook outside Old Trafford. He's there, giving him the time of day and giving him a cuddle and, just acting like a very nice human being. That's what I got from Edinson Cavani. He seems like a nice human being. Also, you look at the final with the Europa, just obviously we lost the game. I think it was that one. Yeah, it must have been. And I saw a video the other day just on social media, someone else browsing through, and it's like all the Manchester United players lining up to receive their medals. And obviously, as soon as they put the medal gets put round their neck, they just take it straight off. They're not interested in a runners-up bullshit runners-up medal. They're not interested. But like Edinson Cavani goes around his neck, and he's kind of like, he's going like this, like at least. He's got a bit of passion anyway. The other guys, I can understand what they're doing, taking off. They don't want second place. I get that. But Edinson, you can see he seems quite a grateful, humble sort of guy anyway. On the face of it. Okay, so yeah, good luck to him. Good luck to Eddie Cavani. But yeah, he is gone. He is gone. He's leaving with happy memories though. And I'm going to have some very happy memories of Cavani. I mean, he scored one of my favourite goals of the season last season. And he's also contributed quite a lot of games. And he's right. He did always try. When he was out there on the pitch for United, he did always try to get us going and give it his all, really. Right, I want to talk about this very quickly before we get into a couple other little pieces of info and into the live chat. We always do a big Q&A at the end, so everyone get your thoughts and opinions stored up for in a few moments when we go in the live chat. But I'm just going to cover the last couple of stories here. So, yeah, Darwin Nunez is still being linked to Manchester United, but the amount of money there is a lot. £66 million or somewhere is what Benfica are supposedly wanting. Some reports said 50 the other day. Some reports have said as high as 100 million. So we'll have to wait and see there, but it does seem like he's definitely on the list of players. So is Christopher Nkunku in the forward positions. And then we've got a young Derby player as well that we're looking at also. Right, Rio Ferdinand and John Terry have been going at it on social media. So basically Rio did a list. He was I think he was speaking was it on his YouTube channel, or maybe it was BT Sport or somewhere. I don't even know where he was speaking initially. I think it was maybe it's his channel, I'm not sure, but he basically did a list of his top 5 top centre backs within the Premier League, and he put like Virgil van Dijk at number 3, and he put John Terry at number 5, and then he also put himself at number 1 and said he is the best. Right. So he put a list out there suggesting that John Terry was only the 5th best Premier League captain, to which Terry responded basically on Instagram, not directly to Rio, but he basically said like, oh, opinions are fine, but the stats prove everything or whatever. And then he put a bunch of infographics up, which showed he's like one of the highest scoring centre backs of all time, which is true, obviously, and that his team in the Premier League won a Premier League season with the fewest goals conceded, 15 in a season as well, stuff like that. And that, you know, all his statistics, his win percentage was higher than Rio's and all the rest of it. Put all this stuff on there. And and Rio Ferdinand hasn't taken too happily to that, I don't think. And they started to go back and forth a little bit on social media now. So Rio Ferdinand basically clapped back and said, the moment one has to start pushing their own records and stats, it's really time to start addressing that fragile ego. You're lucky I even put you in the top 5 after the racism case with my brother. So be thankful you made it. Which is a fair point, really, because John Terry's an absolute shithouse. Let's face it, as good as a player he was, and he was a fantastic player, like whichever way you say it, 58 centre-back goals he scored throughout his career, and also the trophies they won, the fact that they did have that ridiculously strong defence, and he was always a big part of the team. You know, he was a great player, and for England too. I could never really fault him for England. He was always great for England. But he's a shit human being, though, in my opinion. He's a wanker, isn't he, guys? Shagged Wayne Bridges misses, racially abused Anton Ferdinand. The guy's obviously clearly a shithouse. So, yeah, I would say that, you know, but if we're taking the actual character aside, if we are taking the character aside, which maybe Rio's not done initially, he said that, you know, 5th place, you'd be lucky that you made the list after racially abusing my brother, basically. But if we're actually being honest, I mean, you know, from an objective point of view, I cannot put John Terry any lower down than like 2nd or 3rd in the greatest Premier League centre-backs. He's got to be up there, guys. He has to be up there just because of the longevity at Chelsea as well. And he was a goal-scoring centre-back who won them games, and he was a great leader for them. So you can't. So Rio is wrong to put the likes of Van Dijk, I think, ahead of John Terry, you know, in all fairness. Because Van Dijk is just not as, he hasn't had the career, hasn't had the longevity of John Terry. John Terry got in so many World 11s and stuff. I think he got in 5. That was also one of the statistics that he showed. So whichever way you look at it, John Terry is a great, great player who probably, if we're taking personality out of it, if we're taking friend, wife shagging around, you know, away from it, and you're taking racial abuse away from it and all of that stuff, then John Terry is right up there, maybe the 2nd or 3rd, I think. I'd probably put him 3rd, guys. I'd probably put Rio and Vidic higher up in the list than John Terry, but I'd probably put John Terry 3rd. What about, well, let's have a little vote in the live chat. Who's the better defender out of John Terry and Rio, guys? Let us know what you guys are saying. John Terry or Rio Ferdinand? I mean, they're both absolute tops. But I would say, you know, I would say that John Terry, Vidic, and Rio complete my top 3, with Rio maybe being number 1. But it's close. Vutinator says Rio, Vidic, Virgil van Dijk, top 3. But Van Dijk has only got the 1 title, though. That's the thing. Like, I think even he said, because he was talking to, so that's where it was from, actually. He was discussing it with Virgil van Dijk, and Virgil van Dijk said to Rio Ferdinand, but I've only got the 1 Premier League title. I agree with that, personally. I don't really see how he could be in the top 3 when he's only got 1 and he hasn't had the longevity of some of the other ones. Think about all the great defenders that have been in the Premier League. Tony Adams, Sol Campbell, you know, Stam, Vidic, Rio, Terry. You know, all of these guys are all ahead of Van Dijk, in my opinion, just from achievements. Okay, Van Dijk has won the Champions League. He's won the Premier League. He's obviously a top player, and actually, he's been in the Premier League for several years now, Southampton as well. And, you know, he's obviously played a lot of games in the Premier League, but still, he's not near the likes of Vidic, Stam, Terry, Rio. He's just not. I mean, that's not me being a Liverpool hater. He's just not, guys. He's fucking closer to Slabby Maguire than he is Rio Ferdinand, mate. You know what I mean? He's got 1 Premier League title, for fuck's sake. Rushmano says Vidic, Rio, May, Johnson, Stam, Mabbott, Terry. Love it. Phil Jones is the best, says Mr. E-Pro. Terry, says David Lee. Rio easy, says Richard. Rajat says Rio, Vidic, and why not Maguire? Rio Varane, says Alec. Rio, of course, says Mr. E. Rio, says Sam Soccer. Rio, Vidic, Stam, top 3. Terry, no debate, says Hammerhead. Terry by a mile, says 0793. Rio says Rushy and Obisi. Right, okay, it's pretty split. I mean, this is a United fan channel, so you're expecting most people to say Rio. But honestly, looking at it objectively, I would put Rio first. I'd put Vidic second, and I probably would put Terry third, and maybe, yeah, and that's just really for longevity and what he's won. It's not that I think he's better than Stam. It's just that I'm taking into account what they won and how big they were for their teams over a long period of time. So I would probably put Terry third in in the all-time Premier League centre-backs. In all fairness, he did have some very, very impressive seasons, didn't he? But look, like Rio said, he racially abused his brother, and he said that you're lucky to even be in there, in all fairness. This is what John Terry came back with, though. So this is what Rio said, the moment one has to start pushing their own records and stats, it's really time to start dressing that fragile ego. You're lucky I even put you in the top 5 after the racism case with my brother, so be thankful you made it. And then Terry wrote back and said, a fragile ego is putting yourself at number 1. Thanks for putting me in your top 5. So, they're just having a bit of... I can see why England never won anything, though, back in the day. You know what I mean? We got Rio and Terry playing. I don't think they like each other very much. Then again, this does stem mostly, I think, from when, obviously, Anton Ferdinand was playing for Queen's Park Rangers and John Terry racially abused him like over 10 years ago now. So, not really from their playing days, but... Stam third. Great shout, Sam Sucker. Great shout. Okay, just an update on Ralph Carvalho as better, says Perber, fair play. Well, longevity-wise, though, you've got to say John Terry was there for a long, long time. Ralph Rangnick's new role at Manchester United will reportedly see him work 6 days a month for the football club. So obviously he's going into a consultancy role, so he is taking a step back. But hopefully he can have some sort of guidance and say in what happens at the football club with some football aspects behind the scenes, because we do need as many proper football men in there as possible. Also, we have 4 Manchester United coaching staff members are set to leave as well. So Mike Phelan is expected to leave United this summer, and 3 coaching additions under Ralph Rangnick will all depart. So this is reported by the Manchester Evening News today. We actually reported this several days ago anyway, but just further reports that Phelan's going to be going, and then also people like Chris Armas, Sasha Lentz and analyst Ewan Sharp will all leave the club after 6 months spells on Rangnick's backroom staff, obviously. So, no loss at all, really, is it? Those guys just came in on a short-term basis. There you go. Also, as I reported earlier, Harry Maguire is understood to have crunch talks soon with Ten Hag in the coming days to sort of discuss his situation at United and his future, and if he's going to be given the captaincy, if he's even in Ten Hag's plans, etc. So hopefully we find out more about that soon, and hopefully the news is that we want to sell the guy. Okay, so very quick rundown of what we discussed, and I'm going to get into the chat. So I've got a bit of gas. I'm going to get into the chat for a minute, guys. But so Barca are looking to look for replacements for Frenkie De Jong. They are still working on Lewandowski. They're hoping to get £75 million from United. United are not prepared to pay that, but Erik ten Hag is pushing to sign Frenkie De Jong from Barcelona. That's his midfield priority at the moment, it seems. And if we can't get him soon, then we will have to move on to another target. But it does seem like things are progressing slightly in the sense that they are still trying to do business elsewhere. They may have to restructure things economically at Barca. So Frenkie De Jong's one of the players that could be offloaded in order to do that. So he could be available very soon. There are reports other clubs could be interested in him, but hopefully United would be in the driving seat to sign Frenkie De Jong right now. He's also, Erik ten Hag has expressed a big interest in signing Pau Torres and also Jurriën Timber. So those guys are very much on the list and are very much progressing. We have reports from Fabrizio Romano that Pau Torres would be open to joining Manchester United as well. The fee wouldn't be huge, maybe in the region of 40 or 50 million. And then you've also got the possibility of a player going in the opposite direction. Maybe one of the defenders we could look to offload to Villarreal. So just a report there about Pau Torres. And Timber is still in a similar situation. Ajax and Manchester United need to agree on a fee, but reports are somewhere around 35 million euros is the most likely, and that could be wrapped up pretty quickly once that's all agreed. There's not really going to be too much holding up that deal. So Timber, once the fee and everything between the two clubs is agreed, should be pushed through pretty quickly. And United are still working on De Jong and Pau Torres, and there's talks of Christopher Nkunku now. Some reports come out today, or yesterday actually it was, that Manchester United are having contact with RB Leipzig for Christopher Nkunku, and is a player that United are definitely looking at, who's on the shortlist. And also Darwin Nunez is obviously on the shortlist as well. United prepared to maybe have negotiations with Benfica soon, but it does seem our priorities at the moment are getting in a couple of defenders and a midfielder right now for Ten Hag. So we're readying a bid for a couple of players potentially, such as Nkunku, such as Pau Torres, such as Darwin Nunez, and maybe even Timber as well. So we're readying lots of transfer bids at the moment, guys. It's early doors. The window's not open. It's early doors, but we do need to get all of this business done from these players that we're sort of linked to at the moment in the next month. Okay, let's get into the live chat. Thank you everyone for joining us. Do smash that like on the video. Help us out by dropping a cheeky little free like on the vid. Subscribe if you're new to this channel as well for the first time. Get yourself involved. We cover all the latest United news on this channel in a no bullshit way. So come and join us if you're new to the show. And have your say. Let's get into the live chat, see what you guys are thinking. Rushmano, thank you for a £5 super chat there, you legend. Super chat. Sue. Can we get a Sue emoji in there for Rushy? Thank you, buddy. He says, United got Barcelona backed into a corner with Frenkie De Jong. Let's see how much they want Lewandowski. Absolutely, yes. So Xavi's not going to want to get rid of Frenkie or any players really in the squad unless they can guarantee to sign players that he wants elsewhere to improve the squad. So if they can get the likes of Lewandowski and they do really want to go and get him, then they will be open to selling Frenkie De Jong. So yes, that's it. It depends if they want to do any business elsewhere and improve other areas of the team. Because of their financial problems right now, they do have to sell. And United have a big wad of money there waiting for Frenkie De Jong if they're prepared to let him go. They can redistribute that throughout the squad and also bank some of it. And then they're in a slightly better financial position, aren't they? So we do have them in a nice position there. It's just whether or not Frenkie wants to come because we have no Champions League football. But because of Ten Hag, I'm hoping he would want to come. Thank you so much, Rushmano, for the super chat, you legend. Thank you, Alan Harris. He says, I love the season reaction video. Twate Pate was the highlight of the season, says Alan Harris. Hey, nice one, Alan Harris. Thank you, bud, for watching that video. I appreciate that. Berber says, Sue. Alec Brandon also. Chris Parker says, why aren't you speculating on players and positions we need, says Chris Parker. This isn't really about what my speculations are about who I think we should sign. This is about what is being reported in the, in the media by reputable journalists, etc., in regards to who United are actually trying to negotiate for right now. So I do think that we do need to sign the defenders that we need. I do think we need De Jong. I do think we need a forward player that we're signing. So I don't really know what you mean, but we are just reporting on the players that are being discussed by Manchester United, either internally or that we're having, progressions with, be it with Ajax to sign Timber or Pau Torres for Villarreal, etc. So these are the players that are currently being discussed and are currently being targeted by Ten Hag and Manchester United to bring in. So, yeah, there's loads of other players we should sign. There's loads of other players in different positions we should bring in, but these are the players that are looking the most likely right now that Ten Hag could bring in. Nice Rush Miner, he says we got 141 likes. Get in there, my son. That's only 9 away from 150, baby. Thank you very much, everyone, for hitting that like button. Realistically, how much would United want Rashford, says Hammerhead. Depends on Ten Hag, does it? I actually do want us to try to revitalise Rashford there. How much would United want for Rashford? But I think you wouldn't take in less than 70 million for him, Hammerhead. He's a young player. He's a homegrown player. Up until this season, just gone, was progressing really, really well and had very impressive stats. So I don't think that he'd be an expensive player. He would be 70 million plus, surely, for Rashford. Thank you, Jimmy Jones says, I love those rant videos. Piggy put Sky in the bin, says Jimmy Jones. Thank you so much. Hey, the Vootinator has been a member of the channel for 20 months, dude. Thanks so much for supporting this channel for all that time. Nearly 2 years now, Vooty. Thank you so much. That time has flown by, eh? But can we get some love hearts and a hashtag 20 months in there for Vootinator? He says, love United, hate the Glazers. Hashtag Glazers out always. Vooty, you legend. Let's get some hashtag Glazers out. And let's flood the live chat with some green and gold for the guy as well. Thank you so much there, the Vootinator, for being a member of this channel for 20 months. What an absolute star. Thank you, man. Joseph Lewis says, we need a DM. I couldn't emotionally cope with another season with McFred. Why is it not a priority? I don't understand, says Joseph Lewis. Bizarre, isn't it, mate? Why have Aston Villa gone and signed Kamara on a free already, and now they're signing Diego Carlos as well, centre-back? Why are they doing business that we could have done? It's bizarre, isn't it? It's absolutely bizarre. I'm just lost. I'm lost with how poor United are. We've let players that are available for basically nothing go elsewhere when we could just get them, and I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I mean, a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Has anybody ever told Manchester United's board that in the early part of this transfer window? It's crazy. Alec Brandon says 20 mil. Legend says fire up. Michael O'Dell says Nkunku or Nunez. Who would you want? Both very good options. For me, I would prefer Darwin Nunez because he's a bit younger. Maybe he's got a higher potential. But look, Nkunku's only 24 as well. They've both got very impressive stats this season. I would go Darwin Nunez. I really would. I think once Ronaldo is gone, maybe he could be that out-and-out banging goal scorer for us. I like how versatile Christopher Nkunku is, though. So I wouldn't be really that bothered, but I prefer Nunez out of both of them, definitely. Joseph Lewis, amen. What's going on there, Joseph Lewis? How you doing, bud? Is Hydera still available, says Madhouse? Well, I think he is still available, yeah, but I don't think he's being strongly linked to United at this moment in time. But yes, I understand he is. This is it. All these players that were linked to Rangnick under United not really being targeted by us. Boubacar Kamara allowed to leave on a free for Villa. I think that's a really good signing for Villa, guys. I think that could have been a really good signing for us. He's been touted as being a really, really good player for the future. 22, had a really good season at Marseille, and we just didn't even bother. So I don't get that. We could have got Zachariah for 5 minutes, says Jonathan Gallagher. Yeah, exactly. Zachariah might not be the greatest player in the world. He might not be an absolute worldie. But for 5 million, it's not a gamble, is it? I couldn't agree more, Jonathan. So many cheap players we could have got that may have actually been really good, that could have helped our squad, and we just let them go by the wayside and go for a different club. Yeah, Vuti, green and gold until the club is sold. Our recruitment's been terrible. I mean, just imagine if we'd have been quite busy already this window with free transfer signings alone and just signed a couple of players on a free transfer. We would all be feeling a little bit better. If Kamara had come in, if Ericsson was already, in as a backup or something, so even a couple of other players that contracts are running out pretty soon, you could go and do early business for not that much money. Oh, Scott Kent says, Pig, it was 23 years ago yesterday. We'd done the treble, 1999. Oh, get in there, Scott Kent, mate. Oh, what a night. Fair play to you, Scott Kent. But, yeah, that's terrible, isn't it? It was all that time ago that all that time's gone. I can't believe that. Fucking hell. Yeah. I know, Vutinator says, Scott Kent, you're making me feel old. That's exactly what I was thinking, mate. I was thinking, crikey, mate. Bloody hell, I was 12 when that was on. Guys. It's absolutely mental. Or 11, actually. Or 11. I was 11. Any player who can trap and pass is an upgrade for you, says Jimmy Jones. Chris Barker says, is Woodward still involved? Why are we dragging our feet again? No, Woodward's out, mate. Woodward's not involved now, thankfully. He's a big potato-headed buffoon and finally United have got gone. But I know what you're saying, though. It feels like bloody Woodward's involved at this moment. But we are just pushing for Frenkie De Jong. That's what it is. Ten Hag wants De Jong. Until we've got an absolute definitive yes or a no from Barcelona and until we've exhausted negotiations, etc., we're not going to go for our next target, it seems, for the midfield. We're still working on those defenders and forward, but in the midfield, it seems like Ten Hag's pretty set on trying to get De Jong. And so he's prepared to just wait a little bit to wait for Barca to decide what they're going to do with their transfer dealings. And then we can go in and try and sign him. If not, then we'll have to move on to somebody else. Wiggy said, just a little piglet. Ten Hag the Prestige on YouTube. I don't know if I have that 786. You were 22, Vutinator. Oh man, time flies. So you're 45 now. Yeah, fair play. It's crazy, isn't it? We were young'uns back then. Michael O'Dell says, I was 8 when we won that. How old was everybody when United won the 99 treble, guys? Or the Champions League final? Damn it. Hello there, Steve Johnson. How are you doing, mate? Good to see you in here. One of the channel member legends as well. Hope you're good, bud. We've got 150 likes. Thank you, everyone. I feel old too, says Susan Lively Sue. 18 says Russell Kurt. 2 says Wiggy. You wasn't even born, says Alec Brandon. Oh, Busy the Beast was 5. I was 8. Watched it while playing Mousetrap, says Berber. Nice, mate. I remember watching it with my family in the lounge, just going absolutely nuts. 5'10" timber at centre half. Good luck at set play, says Jimmy Jones. 22 says Butter Pants. 5 to 6 says Donny. You were 42, says David Lee. Oh, fair play. Susan Lively Sue was 28. Nice. And none of you guys are old, don't worry. Old but gold. Thank you, Rush Mano. Thank you so much. Steve Johnson says, I'm great. Looking forward to tomorrow. Hala Madrid, come on. I'm going to do a Champions League watch along for the final, actually, guys. So if you're around tomorrow night for the game, do tune in. We'll be watching the game and supporting Madrid. Dennis Johnson was 30. Chris Barker, 20. You was born in 07, says Alec Brandon. Crikey. 2005, says Joseph Lewis. You was 29, says Sam Sucker. Nice one, guys. Nice one, guys. Right, okay then. I'm going to wrap this video up, everybody. But there's the latest transfer news. I want to say thank you to everyone that's got in here. We're just coming up to an hour and 15 minutes, so we better wrap things up. But thank you so much to every one of you that's got involved with the channel today and had your say. Appreciate you all stopping by, supporting the show, and having your opinions in the chat. Thank you, everyone, for watching. That's the latest update in regards to De Jong, Timber, Torres, Nkunku, Darwin Nunez. We'll give you all the latest breaking news as and when it comes on the channel, so please do keep a lookout. Thank you, Berber. Thank you, David Lee. Thank you, Rushmano, Scott as well, Scott Kent, and everybody else who's watched the channel. If you want to get your thoughts and opinions in afterwards about anything we've discussed, you can come back when it's finished and get your thoughts and opinions in the not live comments section. Thank you, Alec Brandon. Same to you, bro. Thank you, Chris Parker. Thank you, 0793, your legend as well. Madhouse, Eyeball Paul, Susan Lively Sue, Nut as well. Great to see you in here, Nut. I hope you're good, mate. Have a great day, and everybody else as well. Let's be having you, Nut. Thank you, Berber. Thank you, all the moderators. Rushmano. Thank you, all the members for supporting the show. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. That is going to be it from me, then. But I'll bring you the latest updates as and when they come in. If there is anything concrete, we'll jump on with a breaking update. But what we're going to be doing at the moment is usually around about a 3 or 4 p.m. afternoon show like today, and then one evening roundup of all the evening's news as well. Thank you, Roshi. Thank you, Sam, Nas, Vuti, Jonathan, Chief, Alec, Chris, Michael, Wiggy, and all the rest of you legends. Do drop a like on this video before you go. Smash that subscribe button before you go as well if you're new. Click the little bell icon as well so you receive notifications. And you can follow us up on social media at Flying Pig United on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Twitch. And also check out the website, unitedflyandhide.com, for your latest news. See you later, Michael Odell, Wiggy, Scott Kent, Stephen Kelly, Chris Barker, Triple JJJ, Steve Johnson, Vuti, Rushy, Ali, and everyone else as well. That's it from me. Have a great day. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you on the next one. And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.